Shit! Hello, Internet. So I'm back. And I have subscribers. Not very many subscribers. But I figured it would take me a lot more videos to get even just one subscriber. So, hey, this is awesome. So shout out to all of you who subscribed. I really appreciate it. And I also want to apologize for taking so long to get this next video out. I had a very hectic couple of weeks and just dealing with this great big mess called life. Yeah, it happens. I'm not exactly making any money from this. It's really basically just a hobby, so I can't really promise a regular schedule for updating videos, but I will do what I can to upload more often than just every 3 weeks. Thanks again for subscribing. I really do appreciate it. All that being said, let's get on with today's video. Today I'm going to do something that's not so serious. I have an article for you called 20 Ways to Spot an American Abroad. And it's got some doozies in it. It's a pretty ridiculous article. So I will do some video editing magic stuff that I don't really know how to do, and I'll bring it up on the screen for you so you can follow along. So let's see if we can kind of get this.
Aha, so here we are. Thanks to the magic of video editing, we are looking at the article up on my computer screen. 20 Ways to Spot an American Abroad. So I'd like to first point out this one sentence at the intro. If you don't want to stick out like a sore thumb, try to avoid these stereotypical aspects of an average American traveler. Well, as you will soon see, some of the things they point out are pretty ridiculous when compared to this sentence. It's you just wait and see. So number 20 here, not understanding the metric system. Well, of course we're not going to understand the metric system. We don't use the metric system. But it's not that hard to get around. I mean, there's probably a gazillion apps that will convert things from the metric system to the imperial system or English system or American system, or whatever the heck you want to call it these days. So not understanding the metric system, that's kind of an obvious one. But here we have this next one. Perfectly straight pearly whites. Because we have braces in America, and apparently most countries don't. I don't know. It depends on where you're traveling, I suppose. But, I mean, what are they suggesting you do? Not get braces as a child if you want to travel abroad? Or just not ever smile or even open your mouth while you're traveling abroad? I mean, that's kind of something you can't avoid if you've already had braces and straightened your teeth, or if you were blessed with naturally straight teeth. How are you supposed to avoid that? And I'm not really sure just how stereotypically American that even is, but whatever. On to the next one. 18. Wearing baseball caps. Well, as an American who has traveled abroad, I must say that other people wear baseball caps too. It's not an exclusively American thing. In fact, the ball cap you saw me wearing at the beginning of this video, I bought overseas. So, you know, what the hell? Plenty of people wear ball caps. This is just silly. 17. Wearing white socks. Really? It's not our fault that most of the socks in the US are white. That's what you find at the store. Are we supposed to not wear socks when we go abroad? And again, as an American who's traveled abroad, nobody cares about your socks. Like, not at all. It's like I said, there's some doozies in this one. It's really, you know, you want to avoid doing things like maybe try avoid being a jerk, which is also not an exclusively American trait, but still a much more sound piece of advice for traveling abroad. Requesting ice in drinks. plenty of people like to have their drinks cold. And I don't really see what the problem with having ice in your drink is anyways. And what does it say? You're automatically marked as an American if you request ice in your drink. Yeah, I gotta say, plenty of people liked having cold drinks abroad. You know, this is not just an American thing to want your drink cold. Walking while eating. Well, I'm gonna definitely have to throw the BS flag on this one. If you have ever been to Europe, they have food stands on the street all over the place. People are always walking and eating. I don't know, are they trying to say this is an American thing? Or, yeah, I don't know. That's definitely not an exclusively American thing. Maybe if you're in Asia or Africa or something, or South America, they might freak out. But I know, at least for Europe, that's not going to mark you out at all from anyone. Everybody does that. Here we go. 14. Not caring about soccer, aka football. Well, yeah, I'm going to have to give them this one. That's absolutely true. You know, everyone else in the world is absolutely nuts about this sport. Americans really couldn't care less. But, I mean, personally, me, I don't really care for sports in general. I don't even watch American football, so, you know, I can't say that, you know, this one really matters to me in general. But, yeah, they do got us on this one. 13. Going to McDonald's. We even make fun of ourselves for this one. Come on. And they have McDonald's overseas. There's McDonald's everywhere. And I gotta tell you, when I was traveling abroad and I saw McDonald's, they were not completely deserted, so, you know, the locals do go to McDonald's too. Drinking too much. You have got to be kidding me. Are we talking about Americans or Europeans? I gotta say, my traveling abroad experience was in Europe. So, and being in Europe, I think the only way to mark yourself out as a foreigner is to not drink. Honestly, they love to party over there. That's one of the reasons why I like going to Europe so much. But, yeah, this one, that's another BS flag on that one. Just like the walking and eating thing. This is a European thing. Come on, guys. Prudishness about nudity. Really? Have they watched Game of Thrones? That show's a huge hit in America. I don't know if there's much prudishness at all here. So, I don't know. I have no idea what they're talking about this one. I mean, honestly. Talking to strangers. Yeah, I don't know how big a deal that is, because I've been in America my whole life. You know, I've lived here since I was born, and I can't say that I've spent a lot of time talking to strangers or seen a lot of other people doing a lot of talking to strangers. I mean, there's some gregarious people everywhere, you know, no matter what country you're from. You're going to have just someone who's a little more outgoing in that. But, I mean, when I was in Europe, people would, you know, had the same thing. Some people just ignored everyone else, and some people would also talk to strangers. So I don't know if this is how American this is. As I gotta say, I don't recall a lot of people in the U.S. just going around chatting up every stranger they see. So, overly sharing your feelings. Really? I don't know what Americans they consider to be stereotypical, but I guess I'm not the stereotypical American, because I don't ever share my feelings with anyone, really. Hell, I joke around about not even having feelings, so. And, I mean, you know, speaking English, when someone asks you, how are you, the correct answer is not to spill your beans to them and share your life story or share all your feelings with the person. The correct answer is to say, oh, I'm fine, and move on. Nobody really wants to know how you are. So I don't know what overly sharing of feelings is going on. I mean, between friends, sure, that's kind of what friends are for, but yeah, it's applauding. You gotta be kidding me. Everybody applauds. Where do they not applaud? What do they have to say about it? Clapping for a performance is important, and if you take in any kind of show anywhere, it's appreciated. But Americans have a reputation for clapping everywhere. What? Where do they get this from? Like at the movie theater. I don't think I've ever been to a movie theater where people have applauded the movie after it was over. No. I don't think I've ever seen that happen in any of the various movie theaters I've been in the U.S. I don't know where these writers are getting this crap from, but yeah, honestly, I think they're just pulling it out their ass. This is just ridiculous. Planes making a smooth landing. I have been on foreign airlines with lots of foreigners, and they've applauded a plane making a smooth landing. And it doesn't happen that often, though. I mean, most of the flights I've been on in the U.S., people don't really do that. And it happens occasionally. And if I recall, I think that was usually when there was some rough weather when we landed. So it was kind of like, the pilot did a good job under more difficult circumstances. Yay, that's nothing wrong with applauding that, but whatever. What else they got? Tipping. Okay, yeah, they got us on this one too. It is customary to tip in the U.S., and it is not customary to tip overseas. And it's kind of a habit that Americans find hard to break when they travel abroad, I suppose. But I would think if people realize that it's an American who's tipping them, they would probably, I think, be a little understanding. It's like, okay, they're not insulting me. It's a habit for them because that's what they do where they come from. So it's, yeah, I mean, I will admit they're right on this one. If you are traveling abroad, try to remember you don't need to tip, but it's not the end of the world if you do. I mean, if you're traveling in a place that hates Americans that much, you probably shouldn't be traveling there. Fanny Packs. I have never worn a fanny pack while traveling abroad. In fact, I don't think I've ever worn a fanny pack in my life. I have never met another American traveling abroad who was wearing a fanny pack. I have no idea where this comes from. I'm going to have to call utter BS on this one as well. Just not happening. Your accent. So now they want you to not talk. What can you do about your accent? It doesn't matter whether you're speaking English or trying to speak another language, you're going to have an accent. And it would be kind of rude to be traveling abroad and never talk to anyone. Seriously. Don't smile, don't show your teeth, don't talk to anybody. So you can't use your accent, but you can't use anyone else's accent either. What the hell? They're basically telling you, don't travel abroad. You're American, stay in America. This is ridiculous. Traveling is an awesome thing. And that's the best way to learn about other places in the world. I love traveling. And I'm not going to pretend I'm not American. I'm not going to hide my American accent. Sure as hell wouldn't try to imitate someone else's accent. The only time I would try to imitate the local accent is if I was trying to speak the local language. But, wow. Like I said, there were some doozies in this one. Just ridiculous. And we're not even to the end yet. Not knowing a foreign language. If you're traveling as a tourist, I don't think that's a big deal. I mean, it's not like you're going to be in the country all that long. Like you're going to have to read every sign or official documents or talk to the locals for months and months and months. It's not that big a deal to not know a foreign language when traveling abroad. It helps to at least know a few key phrases. It will certainly help people, well, I should say, people will be more appreciative of that if you at least try to speak a little bit in their language. Nobody expects anyone to be perfect, especially if you're just a tourist. I mean, tourists come to America and only speak 5 words of English. You know, it's no big deal. If you're going to immigrate to another country, yeah, learn the language. But if you're just going to be a tourist, learn a few words. But more than that, it's really not worth the effort unless you really want to learn the language. And I would encourage people to learn foreign languages. Languages are cool. But, I mean, if you're not interested in learning a language, you're really never going to learn a language. So, loudness. Oh, maybe this is just things that Europeans have in common with Americans, but Europeans can be pretty damn loud too. Or at least in the parts of Europe I was in, which for the most part was Poland. But, yeah, so... But this kind of goes without saying, because earlier in the article they told you not to smile, not to talk, not to open your mouth ever, so it's... I hate to see what the last one is. I don't even remember. It's been a couple of months since I saw this article. What is it? Not knowing the customs. Well, that's just common sense for traveling. You know, learn a little bit about where you're traveling to. And to be honest, I think the types of Americans who wouldn't bother learning the customs of another country are generally the types of Americans who aren't going to be doing a whole lot of traveling abroad anyways. But this is also something that could be applied to anybody from any country. How many people come to America and don't understand all of our customs? This is definitely, I don't know, are they talking about tourists or people who are going to be living abroad? I don't know. But yeah, this article is just ridiculous. Just so much BS in this article. I mean, so many of these things, I don't even see how they're stereotypically American stuff. Like I said, I am an American. I have traveled abroad. Most of these things were either didn't matter, nobody cares about, or I wouldn't even consider to be an American stereotype, because I can't even think of any time I've ever seen an American do any of those things, whether abroad or at home. So, yeah, there you have it. This absolutely ridiculous article talking about Americans abroad. Yeah, I get it, America doesn't have the best reputation in the world, but I gotta say, from my experience traveling abroad, most people like Americans just fine. They may not like America, but they like Americans just fine. So, my advice to you, if you're an American and you're thinking about traveling abroad, don't pay attention to anything on this list. You don't need to care about soccer to go travel to another country. It might help you make some friends. It might help you make some enemies too, because they get pretty crazy over there about their teams. I mean, you think fans of American football are crazy about their teams, you have not seen soccer fans in Europe. They will literally beat the crap out of you if you don't like the right team. So, it's probably best not to like soccer, to be honest. The things about the White Sox, nobody cares about that. The teeth, nobody cares about your teeth. Actual good advice for traveling abroad, you know, learn some of the customs. Yeah, this one is not terrible, but I'm not sure how much of a stereotype it is for Americans that travel abroad to not know anything about where they're going. Unless you're talking about Americans traveling abroad in Hollywood movies, I suppose. You know, that would be true, but that's Hollywood. They're all full of shit anyways. Anyways, that should do it for this video. If you liked it, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share it with your friends and anyone else you think might like the video, and hopefully I'll get the next one out a little sooner. If you guys have anything you'd like me to talk about, any particular topic or something that you want me to talk about, just leave a comment below telling me what it is. And I'll see you soon. Take care.